What's going on, guys? Juice Peace, another video. So as you can see from the title, I'm going to be discussing why our generation is so lost. Some of my thoughts as a young adult living in 2024. Let's get into it. How much people consume, whether that be with content, social media, with food, with just all the vices in life. I feel like now with the sudden rise in technology, everything's just been so much more exacerbated, whether that be just access to junk food, access to instant gratification like IG, YouTube, TikTok. So we've lost a lot of people. Just if you look around, people are zombies essentially, especially people around my age, especially the teen years. People grow up with iPads now, with phones. It's just we have a society full of consumers. There's no more creators, there's no more painters, there's no more artists, there's no more inventors, there's no more. It's just all consume. And on top of that, it's no, people aren't bored anymore. People never have any time to just sit and ponder on some ideas or how their next move is going to be in life. I've talked to this in my previous videos, just how important it is as a man to have time and solitude so you can think about how you're going to move, how you're going to do whatever business deal, however, the interview you have coming up soon. It could be anything. If you're just constantly bombarded with your phone, with people texting you, with you looking at a bunch of nonsense on TikTok, on YouTube, you're never gonna have time to reflect and think about your thoughts. And it sounds weird, right? Think about your thoughts. Be conscientious of the thoughts you're having. On average, humans have about, I think, 30 to 40,000 thoughts a day. However many of those thoughts are actually helping you, it's up to you to decide. Some people are completely unaware of the thoughts they're having, which is pretty scary. So just being mindful of that. Also, I believe I can only speak, of course, from anecdotal experience living in United States of America, in California, in 2024. I've been born and raised here in the Santa Clara, Silicon Valley, and it's just, I've also seen a decline. I feel like there's no masculine figures anymore. There's no men you could look up to. In the 80s, you had guys like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Rocky Balboa. Of course, these are just fictional characters, but still they held the principle in terms of muscular, confident, smoking his cigar. He's doing what he wants. Nowadays a man's figure that he's looking up to is supposed to be Harry Styles, wearing a dress, putting on makeup. There's no men essentially. They're just males. Ways to combat this, of course, I don't want to just sound like I'm ranting. So ways to combat this as a man, especially if you're young, is I recommend taking up some form of martial arts. That's really going to solidify you, and because you really don't know who you are until you're fucking tired or beat up. That's when you really like, oh shit, okay, like let me try. Because if you ever done some heavy sparring with somebody, it's almost, you get into this kind of, it's hard to explain. It's like a fight or flight instinct, kind of do or die, because you can get hit and you can potentially get knocked out. So it's like your full attention is on the person in front of you, which is your enemy at that moment, right? Even if it is not like a heavy sparring session. So that really can just make you feel overall confident, your skills that you know how to protect yourself and the ones around you. So that's one thing to start off. Two is just stop eating a bunch of junk food, high fructose corn syrup, all these. I mean, I know it's pretty hard considering almost everything has GMOs nowadays. So I'm not saying don't eat anything that has a GMO in it, because unless you're really well off or highly meticulous on what you put in your body, that's going to be virtually impossible. But of course, try not to eat McDonald's for breakfast. Try not to drink Coke like water. Another thing is stay away from soy products. A lot of things have soy. Don't drink soy milk, that's for sure. Don't drink soy sauce. Eat soy sauce. Work out. Try to gain muscle. Especially if you're short, you can there's one saying, you can't have two deficiencies. Like if you're a guy, if you're really short, you can't be fat. And, if you're really tall, you can't be skinny. If you're really skinny, you can't be short. I heard as a guy, you can only have one deficiency, right? One major one, right? So yeah, try to just work on yourself on all facets. Have a purpose, have a mission. Don't be just floating through life. Me personally, I'm at the point where if I'm just doing nothing, fucking watching YouTube videos or watching YouTube videos isn't bad if you're watching them to learn something, right? Like a new skill or something to help your business. But if you're just watching stupid shit on YouTube or aimlessly scrolling through Netflix, I'm at the point where I literally feel sick to my stomach after I realize how many hours I spent doing nothing. It's disgusting. So get your ass up, do things, whether that be working out, hanging out with friends, that are good influences, that aren't drinking, that aren't smoking, that aren't doing these hedonistic things that is so normalized in today's society. So yeah, I mean, that's why our generation is called the lost generation, because now we just have everything so easy. It's like, you want food delivered to your house? Okay. You want alcohol delivered to your house? Okay. You don't have to step out your house for anything. You can get everything and anything delivered. You can get toilet paper delivered to your house. You don't have to, you can literally just be in a comatosis in your room all day and just get fed, and it's crazy. So yeah, just, there's a saying, I forgot, I remember, it's like, hard times create strong men, easy times create weak men. And that's kind of the epitome of this generation, sadly. There's another surprising statistic where we have the highest, I know the United States has the highest percentage of adults on antidepressants, which is also crazy considering we're one of the most technologically advanced nations in the world. So that's another thing. There's also the you can look this up yourself. I'm not going to post all the links down, but go on Google if you don't believe me. Cancer shot up about 30% in this generation, compared to, like, I think the 50s or the 40s. And that just has to do with all the microplastics in our food and water, everything contaminated, the tap water. So if you're a man, essentially everything's out to get you, to lower your testosterone. And it might not sound like it on face value, but once you dig deep enough, you realize that, there's a huge rabbit hole to it. And it's like, if you have a society full of weak men that are, just sedated on weed and alcohol, they have no purpose, it's going to be easy to control them. You control the adult military-aged men in society. You essentially control everything, because those are the only ones that are capable of fighting back and resisting and having their own, critical thinking skills and voice in society. So yeah, guys, that's what I have. Get off your asses, don't be lazy, and do something in your life. Make a difference today. So thanks for watching. Hope you liked the video. Comment, like, subscribe. Peace.